Hi, I'm Stephen Reich here at the Minneapolis Convention Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Twin Cities Con 2025. Just for the sake of disclosure, I do have a press pass for this event. In any case, I'm here with Brian Koenig, who is a musician from Madison, Wisconsin, who came up to perform electric guitar, a number of medleys of video game music. So, Brian, first question, how'd you get into doing music?
I started at a young age, like most kids, in the band program, playing oboe of all things. Got a guitar for Christmas, my freshman year of high school, and that changed music for me. That became top priority. All I did was play guitar and do my homework.
Well, good for you for doing your homework and squeezing that in, too. All right, well, you've been playing video games pretty much your entire life. Did you start doing video game music relatively early, or is that something more recent, or how does that work?
It is only recently that I married my musicianship with my love of old Nintendo games. I believe I started my first arrangements in 2015 or 16, and I've been slowly building it ever since then. Equal parts musicianship and nostalgia trip for sure.
Well, that's usually how it works out. Now, at this particular convention, you're actually an exhibitor. You've been doing a few, 1-hour concerts in the video game/board game space. You've performed in front of live audiences before, but I take it this is maybe a little bit different. How does that shaped up?
The performing is always fun, and I'm always thankful for the opportunity. I am specifically playing in the 2D con room, and Joe and Kiki are wonderful hosts, and they've had me for a number of outings now, and I appreciate the opportunity. The convention space is fun. There's tons of people. There's tons of energy. But you have to go into it realizing that it's not a traditional concert setting. There's so much going on. There's so much distraction everywhere that you get a few people here and there, and the audience kind of rotates. It shifts. People come and go over the course of the performance. So if I can get them and really get their attention for a few songs, that makes me super happy.
Go ahead and mention some of the medleys, either that you played today or just think are really special.
I would start with my Final Fantasy work. About 1.5 to 2 years ago, I put out an album of just Final Fantasy, my arrangement of Final Fantasy music. I ended my set tonight with a fairly new Final Fantasy VI medley that included the aria scene, fierce battle, decisive battle, and then dancing mad from the end of the game. I play quite a few medleys, particularly when you're dealing with older games. You have this music that's only 8 to 16 bars long before it repeats, which when you're playing the game and it's the background noise, that works well. When that music becomes the main focus of your performance, you have to try to get a little creative. If you just take that 45-second loop of music and do it over and over and over again, that's cool, but not necessarily very compelling. So if you have multiple parts of music from a game, then you can kind of do a bird's eye view of the whole game and keep it fresh and keep it moving forward so it's not too repetitive or anything like that. So my Undertale medley does very well. I did a Ninja Gaiden medley, which is incredibly difficult to play. That was a very difficult game to play, and somehow the music manages to be even harder than the game. I have 2 different Castlevania medleys, and that stuff is great. It's essentially heavy metal music already, so it lends itself to my style and approach very well.
Yeah, and you do all of this by memory. I mean, you do have a backing track and all that stuff to keep you in the correct space, and you do have some multimedia stuff as well, but memorizing all that is not a small feat.
Correct. Some of it has to do with the fact that I played these games so much as a kid. Some of those themes are just ingrained in my brain and will be there forever, I think. Beyond that, it's just a lot of practice, and there is an element of memorization. Generally speaking, when you play a rock-style concert, you don't read off of music stands. That is a convention more reserved for classical and jazz or big band. But if you go to a rock show and you watch a rock concert, they're never playing off of charts. They're never reading music. It's all committed to memory. And that is a professional standard I like to upkeep.
What else have you done here in the Twin Cities while you've been here?
This weekend has been pretty chill. My wife and I have made a couple laps around the vendor hall. We've bought definitely any sort of stickers or Final Fantasy related items is big. I'm currently playing Hollow Knight, so we're on the lookout for Hollow Knight items as well. Taking a peek at some of the celebrities. We've been a little busy, haven't been able to keep up with that. But other than that, it's mainly just trying to make sure my hands are ready to play and warmed up, and coordinating with the 2D Con Room to make sure that when they're ready for me to play, I am ready to go.
Yep, you've definitely got a schedule on there. Where can folks find you online?
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Brian Koenig Music. And you can find me on YouTube as well at Brian Koenig Music, and briankoenigmusic.com is my website.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Brian. This has been Stephen Reich from the Minneapolis Convention Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Twin Cities Con 2025.